Jaya Ranjimatai, psychiatric nurse practitioner. We have Ria today with us, and we are going to talk about medications. As we know, most of us take medications. So, Ria, what you will do if you have some cough, fever, any sickness? What do you do most of the time?
Usually, I'll just go to the medicine cabinet and get whatever medication I need from there. If I'm not like sure about what I should get, then I'll just ask you or I'll ask my dad about it. But I also know there's a lot of people who don't live at home and don't have the privilege to either get the medicine or ask people about which medicine they should get.
Yeah, that's true. There are a lot of kids staying away from home or live alone, and most of them are not sure about what medication they need to take it. That's what today I will explain about 5 rules of medication. So first one, right person. If you are sick, only you have to take medication, and you should know what is your sickness too. And the second one is right medication. That means like if you have fever, you have to take medication for fever. Then you should know that uh, what medication you have to take it. So for example, when I talk about the right medication, one of my colleague was telling like he saw his wife is mixing all the cup syrup together. While she was cleaning the medication cabinet, she saw a lot of cough medications there. Some of them only half, some of them like one fourth. She was thinking, oh, this all cough medication is taking all the space of her medication cabinet. Why can't I mix all together? So after all, they all are cough medication. So that's like it's not only for her. There are some other people also was passing that comment like yes, it's medication for fever. So all medication we can put it together. So that is not correct. These medications are medication. It's all has if you mix all together, it can even turn as poison. Yeah, the third rule is medication dose. Dose means uh, the medication's dose is different for adult, children, and old people. And at the same time, different medication has got different doses. Even though the medication for depression, one medication for depression has got one dose, and a different medication has got different doses. So, for example, one of my patient was on Prozac, 60 milligram. Then his depression and anxiety was not getting better. So, I have to switch him to Lexapro. So, when you look at the Lexapro, the maximum dose is 20 milligram. So, when I gave him, he was not at all happy. He was telling Prozac 60 was not working for me. How this Lexapro 20 milligram will work for me? So I have to explain him, and until he started to get better, only he started to believe it. So it's not only for one medication. There are so many medication has got the same problem. And the next one is the right time. So, all the medication has got a timing. Some medication work in the system for 24 hours. Some medication work for 12 hours. And some maybe you can take like a 8 hourly or more often. It depends on the medications. Okay. Then the last one is the right route. The medication, we take some tablets orally and injections. It comes in injection form. Then some of them are like a local application for pain or some other infection, and all we put locally. So the 5 rules of medications are the right person, right medication, right dose, right time, and right route. And nowadays we get a lot of medications over the counter. So when we take over the counter medication, we need to understand, there are some interaction between the medications.
I know in like one of your videos you mentioned alcohol and medication mixing together is like causing like complications and stuff, and I think that's like also like another reason why we should be more people should be more vigilant when taking over the counter medication.
Yeah, alcohol interact with a lot of medication, and especially when we take over the counter medication, you have to be careful. And when we talk about that, I can tell you an incident happened with one of the person I know. You know, actually, what happened? He was having some stroke-like symptoms, like a slurred speech, unsteady gait, high blood pressure went high, dry mouth. So he's taken to the hospital. Then they did CT scan, MRI. There was no stroke. Then his he started to have tingling of hands and his legs, and symptoms were getting worse. Even retention of urine, low sodium, some electrolyte imbalance. He was so tired. Anyway, to cut it short, he spent 3 days in the hospital. Then, by giving some IV fluids and some antibiotic, he got better and he got discharged. So,
Do they know like what actually happened to him?
yeah, that was the interesting thing. Like he was having some infection, like some chest infection, sore throat and cough was going on, for 1 week. So, what all, even though in medical field, most of us try to treat ourselves first. So he was treating himself by some cough syrup. And you know that there are two kinds of cough syrup. One is like a cough suppressant. When you have some dry cough for a long time, nothing coming out, and you are worried about, the cough is not letting you to sleep, and some too much allergy things going on. So, you don't want, you want to get rid of the cough. So you take some suppressant. Then another thing is cough expectorant. Like you have some dry, wet cough, the sputum has to come out. Then you have to take the cough expectorant. So in his case, he was having some chest infection. There was sputum, but he wanted to get rid of the cough. Instead of cough expectorant, he was taking cough suppressant. So that made his condition worse. So another thing also, he was taking the cough medication for almost 4 days. So on the fifth day, what he did, he took cough syrup around 9 o'clock with some cake. You know, that was the thing is that cake he ate was the plum cake. So the plum cake means some of the cookies and cakes are also made up of some alcohol. So the plum cake, they put the nuts and dry fruits in the alcohol for months. Then after that, they make cake out of it. So that day, 9 o'clock, he took cup syrup with cake. Then actually the cup syrup he was taking, he's supposed to take, the time interval was like 12 hours. But he did not wait because his cough was getting worse. He has to go somewhere. So he took the next dose little early, like around 6 p.m. That was way early. So when you take early the medication, that means doubling the dose. So he got extra dose. So that was the reason, like he was having chest infection, and even he was drinking a lot of water. He was thinking, okay, let me take more water so I can feel better. So he drink extra water. Then he was taking cups. He took cup syrup with a cake made up of some alcohol content in it. So his condition got worse. So to cut it short, like when we look at the medication rules, he took the wrong medication. Then another thing, he did not follow the time. So end up with some life threatening situations. Okay, yeah, by grace of God, everything went good and he's doing good, no complications. That's very good.
Well, thank you for letting us know about the 5 rules of medication. But now that we know that, how can we know this information so we do follow these rules in our day-to-day life?
Yeah, I understand because it's hard to remember all these things. But one thing, when you get medication, for example, say like this, you get a medication from the pharmacy, you know, usually the outside of the medication, they are telling about the medication, what is it, and the dosage. And there are, if you want more information, we have the leaflet here. You know, yeah, it looks small, but it's not actually small. When you open it, it has got a, oh my God, it has got a lot of information. But don't scared by seeing this. But what you have to see, look for the medications, what is the action, why the medicine using for, what are the side effects, and it says about the dose, timing, and there are some medication has got very bad interaction with other medications. So when you take one medication, you should know before you take any other medication, this am I okay to take this medication with the medication I'm currently taking, to avoid the interaction. So then we all have to live happy and healthy. When you have some sickness, yeah, you need to take medication, but at the same time try to follow the 5 rules of medication. you know we take medication to keep us healthy, but we don't want to put our life in a life threatening situations. So I hope this video is helpful, and Ria, thank you for being with me, and I'm proud of you to bring up this topic for me. And please watch. If you have any comment, put under the comment box, and subscribe and share the video. Thank you for the time.